Welcome back to F1 Blogs, your go-to source for everything Formula One. Today's big news comes from the FIA, which has officially imposed financial penalties on two major engine manufacturers, Honda and Alpine, for procedural violations under the 2023 budget cap. While both companies stayed within the spending limits, reporting errors led to substantial fines, raising questions about how teams will handle financial compliance in the future. We'll explore the details of these infractions, how they differ, and what it means for the future of F1's cost cap regulations. Make sure to stick around, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest in F1 news and analysis. Script 1. Background on the FIA's budget cap and financial compliance. The FIA introduced financial caps in 2023 specifically for engine manufacturers, extending the budget cap beyond teams to encompass their suppliers as well. This measure aims to promote cost-effective innovation and fair competition, as it forces teams and manufacturers to operate within a restricted financial framework. By keeping spending under control, the FIA aims to level the playing field and curb excessive expenditure that could otherwise lead to competitive disparities. However, this was the first year manufacturers faced these specific budgetary guidelines, making compliance a challenge for many. 2. Understanding Honda's infraction. Honda, which supplies engines to Red Bull and will partner exclusively with Aston Martin from 2026, received a fine of $600,000, marking it the larger of the two penalties. According to the FIA, Honda's main issue was incorrect expense categorization. Specifically, expenses related to dynamometer maintenance and inventory were incorrectly included in their budget. The dynamometer, a key testing tool for engine durability and performance, requires extensive upkeep, and Honda's error came in reporting these maintenance costs under regular budgetary expenses. In a sport where every dollar counts, misreporting expenses, even those not directly related to performance improvements, can lead to hefty consequences. 3. Details on Alpine's violation. On the other side, Alpine, which will stop producing its own engines after 2025, faces a penalty of $400,000. Unlike Honda, Alpine's error was primarily due to incomplete reporting. When Alpine submitted their financial reports, significant gaps were found, and several critical reports were either incomplete or submitted late. In response to FIA scrutiny, Alpine provided an updated report in May, but the initial deficiencies warranted a fine. Alpine's compliance issues highlight the complexity of budgetary rules, particularly when a team manages its own engine production while juggling complex financial regulations. 4. Cooperative conduct by both manufacturers. The FIA noted both Honda and Alpine's cooperative attitude throughout the investigation. Both companies provided additional documentation when requested and worked to clarify their procedural mistakes. The FIA also emphasized that no evidence suggests either Honda or Alpine sought to gain an unfair advantage. Their errors appeared to be administrative oversights, with no intention to violate the integrity of the sport. Because of this transparency and cooperation, the FIA limited the penalties to financial fines rather than implementing competitive consequences, such as grid penalties or restrictions on future development. 5. Broader implications of the fines for other manufacturers. The financial penalties on Honda and Alpine send a strong message to other engine manufacturers about the importance of meticulous compliance with budget cap rules. This incident marks a learning opportunity, underscoring how stringent the FIA is in monitoring budget reports. Moving forward, all engine manufacturers are likely to take additional steps to ensure full compliance, as any procedural missteps, even those unrelated to performance enhancement, can result in serious financial repercussions. This enforcement shows the FIA's commitment to enforcing its cost cap. Regulations, which could lead to stricter scrutiny in future seasons. 6. The significance of financial regulation in Formula One. F1's budget cap regulations exist to create a more balanced and competitive environment where success is driven by ingenuity and teamwork, not just financial resources. By imposing strict budgetary rules on both teams and manufacturers, the FIA aims to ensure that no single entity can simply buy its way to the top. Financial caps help maintain competitive integrity, making the sport more accessible and engaging for fans and teams alike. With these fines, the FIA has reaffirmed its commitment to these principles, signaling that all participants must abide by transparent and accurate financial practices. 7. How budget cap rules could evolve in future seasons. This is the first season that engine manufacturers have been subject to budget cap rules, and it's clear that the new regulations come with a learning curve. The procedural missteps by Honda and Alpine may prompt the FIA to refine its guidelines, providing manufacturers with more clarity on acceptable reporting practices. The FIA could also introduce additional resources, such as training sessions or documentation guidelines, to ensure that future infractions are minimized. This adaptation process is typical in regulatory changes and will likely help ease the transition into full compliance for all F1 participants. 8. Potential challenges and considerations for engine manufacturers. For engine manufacturers, budget caps pose unique challenges due to the complex and costly nature of power unit development. Engine development often involves expenses that are difficult to categorize and forecast, particularly in a high-stakes environment like F1. To avoid future penalties, manufacturers may invest in specialized financial compliance teams tasked with navigating these regulations. Teams are also likely to employ more sophisticated accounting practices, ensuring they remain compliant while still optimizing their performance within budget constraints. Ultimately, these changes could improve accountability and efficiency across the board. 9. The FIA's approach to balancing fairness and innovation. While financial regulations promote fairness, the FIA must also allow room for innovation, as technological advancement is fundamental to F1. By refining its approach to budget cap enforcement, the FIA seeks to foster a balanced environment where teams are motivated to develop new technologies without overspending. The penalties given to Honda and Alpine are a reminder that while innovation is encouraged, compliance with established guidelines is non-negotiable. As teams and manufacturers adjust to these financial limits, we may see even more innovation emerge as they find cost-effective ways to remain competitive. 10. Final takeaway and call to action. This recent ruling by the FIA serves as a powerful reminder that strict financial oversight is here to stay in Formula One. As the sport progresses, these regulations will likely become even more robust, encouraging all teams and manufacturers to prioritize transparency and accountability. Honda and Alpine's cooperation demonstrates the importance of aligning with the FIA standards, and the fines highlight the potential consequences for those who don't. While financial caps can be challenging, they play a vital role in keeping F1 competitive and fair. Conclusion. Thank you for tuning into F1 Blogs for this comprehensive breakdown of Honda and Alpine's recent budget cap penalties. As the sport evolves, we'll continue covering these key developments to help you stay informed about the latest in F1. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe to F1 Blogs for all the latest updates on F1 news, analysis, and more.